Hello everybody and welcome to the Dubai Autodrome. It is the NGK UAE ProCar Championship, race 1 of the weekend, round 2 of the 2021-22 National Race Days. I'm Jake Sanson, beside me is Chris Milbourne, and it's time to get the UAE ProCar Championship back underway after a recent absence. But what a battle it's going to be, and what a grid of magnificent and majestic cars we have.
It certainly is, as the grid is now being ordered to be cleared here at the Dubai Autodrome. We're just picking up a grid now so we can tell you who is where. We can tell you on the right hand side of your screen we've got one of the AMG GT4s run by Dragon Racing, and alongside them is a 977. I think it's Seed Al-Mahari who'll be in that car in his Porsche Cup car, the 992 on the left hand side of the screen. Of course, here we have no less than 5 classes. I think actually we might even have a 6th class, but I don't think the Praga is here this weekend. So Saif Al-Amari on the front row of the grid. He's on the left-hand side of your picture. On the right-hand side is Omer Al-Mahari alongside for company. Then we have Amir Faisalin with Hilal Al-Mazuri in the number 7 with René Munich and Leo Lucas sharing row number 3. Alexandros Anivas and Rea Lucas share row number 4 with the number 2 and number 20, Pierre Brice Mina. A late entry to the NGK UAE ProCar Championship here this weekend, lines up on the 5th row of the grid, ahead of Stuart Hall and Kevin Day in the 22 and 75 respectively. Then we have Rahil Tanaja and Eduardo Miranda sharing row number 7 in their Clio Gen 5s with Ahmed Al-Malehi with Ricky Kumba alongside for company on row number 8. Ayman Sadat and Kenny Murray share row number 10 with Charlotte Simmons and Ahmed Al-Majid in 19th and 20th on row number 10. And then we have Jahid Karim in 21st with Fabian Defuchs alongside for company with Avik Anwar and Buti Al-Mazruri alongside for company on the 12th and final row of the grid. 24 cars here will take the start of the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. We stick with the international circuit configuration here, 4.29 kilometres in length, as we're on the formation lap here. The drivers keeping heat in their tyres to ensure they get the go when they get to the green light, of course, on the starting gantry. As we're about to get underway here for the first time this weekend, we've got 2 races actually today for the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. This is the first of the 2, and as we said, we have a plethora of classes racing here, including the AE86 category. We've got the Clio Cup, which is, well, it's technically not new, but however the cars are new this year, because of course they're on the Gen 5. We have Class 1, we have GTA, and we have one other cup as well. That's no, we've got Class 1, we want GTA, we've got AE86 Clio Cup, and it would have been Proto, but unfortunately we don't have the Praga R1 that was scheduled to be driven by Ian Roberts, but unfortunately not here this weekend. Scott Dimler was also on the entry list, but unfortunately not here this weekend. He's a gentleman of the series in the AE86 category, but unfortunately not here in his red AE86. We've got plenty of new faces and plenty of new cars on the grid, Jake. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic race here for the NGK UAE ProCar Championship.
And it's the Dubai Autodrome, which is literally designed for doing just this. So it is going to be an absolutely fantastic battle right from the get-go. Saif Al-Amari and Omar Al-Mahari are going to want to get out into the dust and disappear from the rest of the field nice and early. The interclass battles are definitely going to make things very entertaining for us. Don't forget that there's only 2 drivers in GTC, Al-Amari and Al-Mazrui, and then the GTBs, well, that's going to be Al-Mahari and Faisalin in the AMGs, Lucas, Leo and Rea, and then Fabian Dufio. The Class 1s, well, that's going to be between René Munich and Alexandros Anivas. The Clio Cup, well, there's going to be 9 drivers in total. Spinkovic, Mena, Hall, Day, Tanaja, Miranda, Al-Malahi, Murray and Simmons. The Class 2 cars will see Kumba, Sadat and Karim, and then the AE86s, just Al-Majid, Anwar and Batti Al-Mazrui. But they are going to come into position, and it'll be Saif Al-Amari in the Porsche on the left of your picture, alongside Omer Al-Mahari in the AMG GT4 on the right of your picture. They will come together, and you can even see the FIA World Touring car of René Munich that is there in P5, and yes, that is the actual car that he races in the FIA World Touring Car Cup. That's the kind of racing that you're going to get, a little bit of everything. It's the pick and mix of motorsport. They wait for the lights to go out, and we are under speed, and we're racing down to the first corner, and it's a cracking start from both the Porsche and the Mercedes as they run down to the first corner. Everybody keeping themselves to themselves, trying to stay out of dodges. Up the inside comes Hilal Al-Mazrui, and into second position. Nice work as the 2 Porsches get out in front of the GT4 AMGs, and they're going to go side by side. Faisalin and Al-Mahari tried desperately to stay away from each other as Munich has slotted his car into 5th position, no problem at all, and the Porsches have stretched out in 1st and 2nd. It's 977, Saif Al-Amari, who is out in the lead.
Well, interestingly enough, before we got to the green lights, one of the Porsche Cayman GT4 cars peeled into the pit lane, and that was sort of towards the mid-pack, and we saw a slight gap in the field when we came through the final corner there, but that car's tucked in. Not sure why that's got in. We did see it come past our position here, but it's not come through either, as there is the AE86 car at the tail end of the field. A lock up there, there is the number 8 currently in the pit lane. That's Leo Lucas. So actually he was on the third row of the grid, and he's come in, so he may have had a problem already on the formation lap, and he's got a lot of catching up to do here if he wants to be in the scrap of things. Here's René Munich looking on the inside of one of the GT4 AMGs there, and that is, I think that's Amir Faislin's car, as, well, that's interesting. We just had a small blip there, but here we are back again. Into the Bowl complex here for the first time goes Saif El-Ameri in the 977 Porsche, ahead of Omer Al-Maheri, who's stuck with him for the time being. But it's the GT4s that are doing battle with René Munich at the moment. There is the first of the two, and there's René Munich trying to pounce on Amir Faislin, trying every which way, but Amir Faislin is shutting the door on him. And then behind him is Alexandros Anivas, who has not made up the same amount of ground that René Munich has here. As we're down into the final corner here for the first time, René Munich not close enough to make a move. Race leader across the line, setting in the first times here.
So already things look to be pretty spaced out as the drivers are making their way across the line. And it's an absolutely fantastic battle so far from the competitors. But Saif El-Ameri is currently 1.8 ahead of Hilal Al-Mazroui, and then Omar Al-Maheri from Amir Fazulin, René Munich, Alexandros Anivas, Rea Lucas and Fabien Dufio. So already some good battles as the competitors are continuing to charge their way forward. So let's see if the competitors are going to be charging for it on the back straight. Looks to me as though René Munich is getting a little bit closer to the back of Amir Fazulin's car. Alexandros Anivas is not too far away now either, so the drivers continue to battle away in position. But certainly for Saif El-Ameri in front of Hilal Al-Mazroui and Omer Al-Maheri, it is all going perfectly to plan at the moment. Amir Fazulin just getting a little bit of a slow run out of the hairpin there. René Munich, the car is a little bit more designed to take that corner with a bit more mechanical grip, but it's in the straight line where the car is not quite as rapid as the AMG GT4. You'll see this as well because there are some cars that are faster in a straight line but slower in the corners, and you're going to see an interesting dynamic between the cars as they try and battle with each other despite having to take those problems into account.
And it's still Leo Lucas, who still has constant problems because he's back now into the pit lane again. Now, the team are looking at the right front, so there must be something wrong with that right front tyre. That looks like, well, are all the lug nuts screwed on there? Well, maybe not. So he might have been feeling a slight vibration there in his Cayman GT4 car, but he gets going again. But again, unfortunately, he's quite a ways back from the other Cayman GT4 car of Rea Lucas, who's currently circulating in 7th position. So lap number 2 in the books from the race leader. There is Leo Lucas in his number 21 car. The BMW, driven by Fabien Dufeu, well, he's carved his way up the order. There's a lot of movement, actually, on the opening lap. There are a lot of people climbing their way up the order. Ayman Sadat certainly did. He gained no less than 4 positions. Ricky Coomber, unfortunately, dropped back. So did Kenny Murray in his Honda Integra DC5 and Kenny Murray's Clio Cup, the Gen 5 Clio as well, looking to make some moves here. But if we look through the order, it is Saif El-Ameri out in front by 4.3 seconds over Hilal Al-Mazroui. And then it's Omer Al-Maheri, who is in 3rd position, with Amir Faislin in 4th, with René Munich rounding out the top 5. Now, in respect to the class leaders, it is Saif El-Ameri who leads in his class. Now, looking for the leading Clio, it looks like Pierre-Brice Mina might be the leader in the Clio Cup category at the moment, in 9th position, because his closest rival, Kevin Day, has just found a way past Eduardo Miranda on that previous lap. We've got a battle here between 2 of the Clios. That's a 20 and the number 2. That is, presumably, for the lead for the Clio Cup category here at the moment, and they're going to have a drag race all the way down towards turn 10, and is the number 2 going to look on the inside? He's looking to see if he can find a way through. Lay on the brakes as you dare. Can he make the move through? Yes, he can, and they make it through cleanly as well. Fantastic job, but the move isn't stuck just yet, because here comes the 20 looking to battle back again. That, of course, is Kevin Day, who's now in 2nd position in class in the Clio Cup category, as Jersey has now gone into the lead of the Clio Cup, and here comes Eduardo Miranda. But that does not look like Eduardo Miranda's car. That actually looks like Rahul Tenarch's car in close proximity. So the Mexican driver there has fallen back, and he has indeed, because that looks like, who's that in the 2nd Clio there with the pink highlights? Well, we'll have a look through there. There is the number 8 back out on track after the team had a look at the right front. The hazard lights are still on, and that's very dicey. They're going through turn 1, isn't it?
It's not the nicest position to be out, where you've splitted two cars that are racing for position a lap or so ahead of you, so that's not great news from their point of view. But Jerzy Spinkovic, the Polish driver, now leading the race in the Clio Cup category in front of Pierre Bryce Maynard and Stuart Hall. So they come through the final turn and they're still battling away together. Jerzy Spinkovic, of course, one of the talented Polish superstars that is slowly making his way up the motor racing ranks, and here in Clio Cup out in the United Arab Emirates, doing a fantastic job. Meanwhile, down the back straight, down the main straight, I should say, sorry, that is the Renault car of Rahel Taneja, who is trying to get his way into position, his Clio Cup car. So the 20, Pierre Bryce Maynard, trying to close up on Jerzy Spinkovic. So the battle continues. And the battle is going to be well and truly joined between these two competitors as they continue to battle away around the course. We are on lap 4, and it's Saif Al-Ameri in front of Hillel Al-Mazroui from Amir Al-Maheri, Amir Feyzulin, René Munich, Alexandros Anivas, Rea Lucas, Fabian Defio, Jerzy Spinkovic, and Pierre Bryce Maynard. That's the top 10 overall.
Well, I just noticed on the left-hand side of the Kevin Day-driven Clio Cup car, there looks to be some damage, and this is the A86. Now, those two don't look up to speed at the moment. They certainly do look like they're circulating rather slowly.
Is that live pictures? I think it is, isn't it?
If it is, and it's incredible that they've both had a problem at the exact same time as well. They're
we're under safety car. We're under safety car. Safety car. Now,
Code 60 is out.
There's a car that's stationary just up the far side, so that's why we're under safety car conditions. Now, so I didn't see that on the timing screen, but now I have seen it. So yes, safety car conditions. So there's a car that's come off the road somewhere. Couldn't quite make out who that was on that particular occasion, but I have a feeling we'll get a read on it. I think it was one of the AA86 cars, so that might have been Leo Lucas.
Leo Lucas is in the second of the.
Oh no, sorry, he is. Yeah, so that might be Ahmad Al-Majid then, the 72 car, because that's the only other car that hasn't completed 3 laps yet. So I would suspect that it's Ahmad Al-Majid that has not completed the full distance. Oh, it's red flags by the look of it. Oh, no, wait.
Those are code 60 flags.
That is a code 60. I do apologise. I'm still not used to code 60 in the world of motor racing. So, yeah, code 60s rather than red flags, which is why they're obviously down to 60 kilometres an hour, which is only about 37 miles an hour, of course, which looks ridiculously slow down the straight. And you can see, look, the jerky nature of the number 7 Porsche. He's certainly getting a very rough ride there, is Hillel Al-Mazroui. It's probably not quite what he was hoping for, but certainly code 60 here at Dubai Autodrome for the second round of the UAE ProCar Championship. And it's been a very interesting start to the race so far, but for Hillel Al-Mazroui, he's got pressure from the 2 AMG GT4s of Amir Al-Maheri and Amir Feyzulin, who are doing their best to shake off the attentions of that man just coming into shot, René Munich, in his FIA World Touring Car grade Honda Civic from the All-Inkle Munich Motorsport team.
And yeah, it does seem to appear to be Ahmed Al-Majid, who stopped somewhere between either Sector 2 and Sector 3. And Singh has actually not gone through Sector 2, so he's actually stopped somewhere in Sector 1. Has that AE86. Leo Lucas moves up position because of that, but behind the code 60, of course, the entire field is neutralised. Now, there's no safety car, so there's no catching up to do, but we have a fantastic train of cars here as René Munich looks around the outside, but of course he is just keeping some heat in the tyres there, because of course it's circulating at 60 kilometres an hour. Everything starts to cool down ever so slightly, and of course that can be a bit of an issue when the code 60 flags are withdrawn, because the good thing with code 60 is we don't have to wait till we get to the start-finish straight for the green flag to be deployed. We can pretty much go racing as soon as you see the next green flag at any of the marshal posts scattered around the international circuit here. So we can go green flag racing pretty much essentially here. But even though we're circulating at 60 kilometres an hour, you can see now more of the drivers putting heat, keeping the heat in their tyres even. And Alexandros Anivas has really closed the gap in on René Munich before the code 60 by the looks of it, because he was quite a ways back. But now, within at least one car length, there is the AE86 being dragged along and being recovered. As always, a fantastic job by the marshals. The good thing is the car's not stuck in gear. It's in neutral, so it's able to get going again. However, it's not been able to get going under its own power. So they're going to have to. The team are going to have to look at that and see what is the problem with that car. The good news is for Leo Lucas is that now he's with some cars, but unfortunately he is a lap down from the race leader. Now with the code 60, he doesn't get that lap back, nor does he have a chance to overtake any of the cars that are in front of him, but he is at least in the mix as well, so he can kind of now see if he can find a way past some of the back markers that are in front of him, because of course he is in a different class, but he's also wedged in between two GT4 cars and the leading Porsche.
Code 60 will be withdrawn this lap. We are told that on the timing screen, so code 60 will be withdrawn this lap. That means essentially we will be going racing again. And so obviously for Saif Al-Ameri, it's up to him to make sure that he gets the best restart possible. Helal Al-Mazuri is obviously going to have a lot of pressure from Omar Al-Maheri. And then we've got these two cars running together. That's Ahmed El-Malahi and Kenny Murray, who are together out on the circuit, as they are obviously dueling away for their respective position as well. But now this is all down to Saif Al-Ameri to get the restart he wants. That's the 7, actually, of Helal Al-Mazrui, who's keeping this long train of cars at bay. Now we're going racing as the 977 Saif Al-Ameri gets up to speed. Green, 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 and it's green around the circuit now. So code 60 is lifted at all areas of the circuit. So everybody's going racing again. Is that Rennie Munich having made up several places? It is indeed. So Rennie Munich is now suddenly up at a second place. And look at the traffic jam we've got halfway around the course as everybody gets himself up to speed again. The Clios are in a wash of BMWs, and Rennie Munich briefly takes over second position ahead of Helal Al-Mazrui, but he doesn't have the straight line speed advantage of the Porsche. He's got mechanical grip in the Benz, but he doesn't have the straight line speed. So it's the Porsche that gets its way back into second position. Watch out for the AMG GT4, because that's going to be lightning as it comes down into the back straight. And there's not really a lot that Rennie Munich's going to be able to do to hold him at bay. The Clios are absolutely rabbiting away down the main straight. And as they come onto the back straight, that is Helal Al-Mazrui running in second place. And watch out, because the car behind Rennie Munich is going to sweep past the GT4 Mercedes. Whoops, that's Stuart Hall running a little bit wide, and that's not gone well at all for him. So that's dropped him off the back. Jezek Spinkovic has lost the lead once again to Pierre Bryce Maynard, and he's then held up behind the Porsche of Rea Lucas.
And that was a cheeky little shunt there to say, hey, look, listen, I'm faster than you. Please let me through. The race lead is getting past. I need to get through as well. I've lost my lead because of you. Now, kindly move out the way. But going
Words to that effect.
Going back to the restart there, Rennie Munich either timed that to perfection, or the two AMG GT cars in front of him didn't even see the green flag being poked out, the code 60 flag, because it seems to be they got caught napping, because Rennie Munich was behind 3 cars, and he's gone through all 3 of them to put 3 cars in between himself and Alexander Zanivas, which is most important to him at the moment. But here's a fantastic battle with Kevin Day in the Clio Cup category. Eduardo Miranda and Rahil Tanaja all in the thick of things here right now. They are currently battling for position in class, and that would be for 4th position at the moment. And it looks like Spinkovic, unfortunately, he's lost 2 places on the restart as well, because he's lost out to Pierre Bryce Mina, and Stuart Hall has got through as well. And it looks like one of the AMG GT cars has got through back past the Rennie Munich-driven Honda. And that is Omer Al-Maheri that's found a way through. So Amir Faislin still tucked in behind the WTCR Honda. As we're now down towards the final corner here again, and this is the battle for second position actually in class, between Pierre Bryce Mina, Stuart Hall, and actually that's changed by the looks, because Rea Lucas has gone through. Of course, it is Porsche. He's managed to escape up the road, but Stuart Hall has indeed been dropped back to 3rd now. Spinkovic now up into 2nd place in the Clio Cup, and he's looking to retake the lead here. Is he going to take it down towards turn 1? Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there from the number 20. That, of course, is Pierre Bryce Mina. Oh, that's very tight through there. But for the number 20, he shut the door on the number 2 immediately, knew he had the run, and he knew exactly what he had to do. A little bit of a dent, actually, on the back of the number 20 there. Not sure how that's got there, or how it's got... I don't even know what's actually done that, to be honest, because that's quite high up next to the logo of the car. But we're on now to the back straightaway, and here's where Spinkovic will pick up the toe, and he's going to look for it. He's going to look on the inside. So the number 20 has to block the inside, which he does right now, and he's going all the way to the right-hand side of the track here, but Spinkovic is going to try around the outside. That's not where you want to be, but he's got a good run here. Oh, 3 wheels. 1 wheel off the ground, and the right rear was way up in the air, and here he goes again on the inside. Can he make the move stick? It looks like he has. Oh, they're going side by side through the corners now. Oh, that was very tight, Jake.
Brilliant move. Jezek Spinkovic deciding he's not going to wait around for this. He steals the lead in the UAE ProCar Championship Clio Cup Gen 5 Class. class. What a move from Jerzy Spinkovic. Absolutely perfect as he gets past Pierre-Bryce Maynard. And now behind, we've got an interesting battle because that looks like Stuart Hall trying desperately to get himself back into the hunt for the victory. Here we go again as Pierre-Bryce Maynard wants revenge on Spinkovic. They go down into the braking zone for the hairpin. And watch out for Stuart Hall. He's looking for a switchback maneuver on the undercut. So up the crest they come. And behind, that is another class of car trying to work their way through the order as well.
That was Ricky Coomber in this DC5.
Yeah, it was Ricky Coomber. So Coomber's trying to get himself past this. He's not involved in this battle. He's in a different class. So he just wants to get past these guys as fast as possible and go home to victory lane. But these three are having a monumental scrap. Kevin Day in 4th position trying to stay with them. But down the main straight, this is where Ricky Coomber's going to have a bit of a more straight line advantage. He gets past Stuart Hall. Stuart Hall's going to tuck in behind him now because this will help him get close to these two. Meanwhile, Maynard is going to try and sweep around the outside to get a switch back on the inside of Jerzy Spinkovic. It doesn't work because Spinkovic is very much the measure of him. So Jerzy Spinkovic with a absolutely audacious maneuver to get through into the lead around the outside of the hairpin at the bottom of the back straight. And the Unique Racing driver is now leading in the class. But can he hold it with, well, they've only got 9 minutes to go, so he really has got to try his best to hold on to this because Pierre-Bryce Maynard can smell blood and he wants revenge.
And Spinkovic is using all of the car he humanly can because, again, through that corner there, you could see the left rear lock up, and here comes Maynard around the outside. He's going to do exactly what Spinkovic as Ricky Coomber locks up ever so slightly there, going down towards turn 10. The right-hander here. Now, can Maynard do the same thing Spinkovic did it on the last lap? Not close enough. He's going to have to settle in there and tuck in behind there as Ricky Coomber now looking for a way through here. He's now in the mix for the battle of the Clio Cup category here. Fantastic stuff here, as always, in the Gen 5 Clios. Of course, they have their standalone event tomorrow as well, 2 races, so they've got to make sure that they keep it nice and clean. And here comes Ricky Coomber, of course, not in class for this category here. He's just looking for a way through because he wants to get his race, or he wants to get on with his own race, doesn't he? Because, of course, he has other cars to do battle with and wants to put more cars. Bit of a lock up there from Pierre-Bryce Maynard going into the bowl complex, but keeps it all on the road. And this is great news for Spinkovic because, of course, now he's got a car in between himself and his closest rival. So he's saying, thank you, Ricky Coomber, but I'm not going to let you through that easily because I need you to stay there because I don't want Pierre-Bryce Maynard anywhere close to me anymore at the moment because I want to win this category.
So down the main straight. And Ricky Coomber is going to get the run here on Jerzy Spinkovic. It's not going to do anything in terms of the change of position for the class or the race. But what this could do is it could box Jerzy Spinkovic in at exactly the wrong moment. And that's what the 20 of Pierre-Bryce Maynard is hoping for. He's hoping that Coomber accidentally blocks Jerzy Spinkovic's fastest line through the first hairpin and basically boxes him in to the path of the 20 of Pierre-Bryce Maynard. So Maynard's doing his best to try and stay with it. There is Ricky Coomber having now got past the Clios. That was a bit of a hairy moment for him, trying to get past all 3 of them whilst also not ruining their races in the process. Saif Al-Ameri is still out in front, having clocked a 1:42.8. Hilal Al-Mazroui is in 2nd place from Amr Al-Maheri, Amir Fizulin and René Munich. So it's exactly the same top 5 as it was before the code 60. A warning flag has gone out for the 99 for track limits. That's Kenny Murray, and apparently he's done that at turn 12 and turn 16. Now 16 is the final turn. Turn 12, I would estimate that's the run out of the right-hander towards the back part of the circuit. It's about here-ish, I think, turn 12.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be that's where that incident took place, as now Ricky Coomber's found a way past the Spinkovic Clio and now is off to do battle by himself because, of course, he's got a heap of cars between himself and his closest rival. But unfortunately for Pierre-Bryce Maynard, he wasn't able to tag along for a ride there and pick up the tow from the DC5 and that's made its way through. So there's a bit of a gap between Spinkovic and Maynard for the time being. Well, it's showing a 7/10 of a second last time round, but that was with Ricky Coomber in the mix as well. Actually, that would have been 8/10 of a second, but it looks to be that gap is now more or less 3 to 4 Clios in length, and then in close proximity as well is Stuart Hall, who's now decided to back out here. Well, we can expect probably some action now as we're now winding our way into the final 5 minutes of the race here in the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. as Saif Al Ameri continues to lead by 21.5 seconds over Hilal Al Mazroui, and then it's Al Maheri. Now Ricky Coomber's gone through, indeed he has. That is the DC5 there in front of our pictures right now, in front of the Clios, and it actually looks like now Pierre-Bryce Mina is again now reeling in Spinkowicz, because the battle between them is now 90th of a second, but he doesn't look like he's getting closer as they make the run down towards turn 1 here for the 10th time in the Clios, and soon enough, Saif Al Ameri is going to be hot on their tail as well, and that's going to be interesting as well to watch the leader carve his way through this battle for the Clio Cup.
I'm glad you mentioned it, because I was just about to pick that up, because Saif Al Ameri has just flown past the pits, so he's not going to be there. In fact, there he is. There he is in the background. So that is Saif Al Ameri, the race leader overall, and he's just going to fly past these Clios. The problem is he's going to get into the battle with these two cars. Do you really want to commit to that? Do you really want to commit to that when you're already at that point of the apex? I wouldn't. And he bails out. He does exactly the right thing. He bails out of the corner because he could have got up alongside, but the chance of Pierre-Bryce Mina turning in because it's his corner was just so high. So Saif Al Ameri, no problem at all for him to go through. So Al Ameri makes the position, goes by, but he has to pick and choose your moment. That's the thing. When you're in a faster car than the car in front, you've got to pick your moment when you go through the traffic. If you do it at the wrong time, you're going to collect the car in front and your race is over. It doesn't matter how fast you are, you have to time the move correctly.
And of course, the best place to do it is on the front straightaway, which we just saw, on a straightaway, which you just saw him do on Ricky Coomber as well. I've just seen that Kenny Murray has come into the pit lane. Now, no indication as why that's happened. When the car came in, it sounded all right. It didn't look to appear to have any damage on the car, but unfortunately Kenny Murray has come in. Now that's not the first driver to come in, because of course Leo Lucas came in twice, and actually Leo Lucas is carving his way through the field because he's up now into 19th position, and it looks like we've got a great battle here between, that's Kevin Day, Eduardo Miranda and Rahul Tanaja. Now they're battling for position in class. Again, is this the battle for 4th place in class at the moment? Yes, it would be. Kevin Day is leading that at the moment, ahead of Eduardo Miranda and Rahul Tanaja. Now, they are a bit further back from Stuart Hall, and they are separated by about just under a second, separating the two of them for the time being. And of course, that is not for podium, but that's just for 4th position at the moment. Spinkowicz, though, in the Clio Cup is leading by a second, so he actually is able now to gap the Pierre-Bryce Mina number 20. Now, in the TCR category, it's still René Munich leading from Alexandros Anivas by... well, it was 9 seconds across the line, but it's not the TCR category, is it, Jake? It's a different category of cars, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's Class 1.
Class 1, exactly. There is Alexandros Anivas now going across the line in front of our commentary box position, and the gap remains... well, it's gone up to 10.5 seconds actually now, so rather than reel in the race leader in that class, René Munich is stretching away from Alexandros Anivas. Oh, and that's a big lunge on the inside. Now, that is the two Clios going wheel to wheel. That's Kevin Day, I think, trying to fend off
from
Eduardo Miranda. So Miranda is trying to come in. They've swept into each other around the outside, and that looked like it was getting a little bit messy. Kevin Day and Eduardo Miranda both with elbows out, and neither driver prepared to concede.
It certainly looked that way as well. And that was Eduardo Miranda coming around the outside of Kevin Day, because, of course, they were separated by... they were separated by 0.3 of a second when they came across the line. So it looks like Eduardo Miranda tried to make a move somewhere, but it hasn't quite paid off. But the good thing is they've kept off one another, or have they? Let's see when they come across the line. As Saif Al Ameri's just done that too, and he's gone past one of the rent-to-race Renault Clios. That's in class... that's not in the Clio Cup category. That's in a different category, is that Clio. I think it's in Class 2, it would be. Yes, it would. And that's the same class that Ricky Coomber is currently leading. As we're keeping a close eye. Well, Spinkowicz has just come across the line, followed by Pierre-Bryce Mina. And they've looked to have dropped Stuart Hall in that battle for the top of the podium in the Clio Cup category. And that's now got up to 1.5 seconds. But where is Kevin Day? There's Eduardo Miranda, and there is Kevin Day as well. But it looked like Rahul Tanaja, though, benefited the most, because guess what? He's moved up 2 positions. He's gone from 6th in class to 4th in class, with Eduardo and Kevin tangling together in turn 10. As Saif Al Ameri now into turn 10 for the 13th time here at the Dubai Autodrome. We have just under a minute to go, so I have a feeling this should be either the penultimate lap or the last lap of the race here. It doesn't say that the leader is on the last lap, so I presume we will actually get the white flag, essentially the last lap brought out this time round, won't we, Jake?
Indeed. Fabian Defio has just been given a warning now for track limits at turn 18, so that's on the new chicane that puts them onto the back straight. But as you mentioned, we're into the final minute or so of racing. So Saif Al-Ameri, I think he's just going to have enough time to cross the line this time by to start one more lap. I think he'll just get one more lap in. Not that it's particularly dramatic in terms of the race battle, because he is 24.5 seconds ahead of Hilal Al-Mazuri. So that's going to be nice and easy for Saif Al-Ameri to just continue in the 977 Porsche. That's number 977. They don't make a 977 Porsche, and certainly wouldn't do so for racing purposes in that particular car. But oh, he's going to come through. Are they going to do the checkered flag early? Yes, they are. So the checkered flag comes out for Saif Al-Ameri. Excellent job. Great race. Textbook from start to finish. Never really put a wheel wrong. Responded well in the restart and was able to control the pace. He's happy with it, and he has every justification to be so. The winner in the class and the winner overall. It's going to be Omar Al-Maheri that will take the victory in the GTB category over his teammate Amr Fizulin, and Fabien Dufio will be in third place. Rennie Munich's going to hang on from Alexandros Anivas in the Clios. They really are going to take it to the line, but it's going to be Jerzy Spinkovic in front of Pierre-Bryce Mena and Stuart Hall. And even out of the final turn, Rahul Taneja is desperately trying to hang on in front of Miranda and Day, but he does do so. So the checkered flag flies for him. It was close, but Taneja stayed patient and he picked up a P4.
And Eduardo Miranda there, very feisty there through that final corner as well. Desperately trying to take fourth away. He's going to have to try again in the NGK UAE ProCar Championship race number 2. So few cars getting loose there through the final corner, but that brings an end to our first race of the day for the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. As Saif Al-Ameri, of course, takes the win overall. Ray Lucas has yet to come through, as has Charlotte Simmons as well, has not come through. For the time being, so we're just waiting for 2 more cars to work their way across the line. Then we'll have the podium presentation to wrap up the NGK UAE ProCar Championship.
So a fascinating battle in the first UAE ProCar race of the weekend, and obviously the second is later today. Fabulous performance from Saif Al-Ameri as he takes a brilliant class victory. Rennie Munich is the one who takes the victory in the GTB, the Class 1 category. GTB goes the way of Omar Al-Maheri in front of Amr Fizulin and Fabien Dufio. The Clios, Jerzy Spinkovic hangs on for the win in front of Pierre-Bryce Mena and Stuart Hall. Class 2 is won by Ricky Coomber ahead of Aman Sadat and Yahid Karim. And in AE86, it is Avik Anwar ahead of Botti Al-Mazrui, as Ahmed Al-Majid obviously retired from the race on lap 3, and that was the reason we went code 60 earlier on. Great performances, great races, and a great win from Saif Al-Ameri.
Certainly was. Can't wait for the second race for the NGK UAE ProCar Championship, as that will come up later on today. As we said, we'll have the podium presentation shortly for the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. But of course, after this, we have more racing coming up. We have the first race of the weekend for the Formula Regional Asian Championship race number 1, which will be a 30-minute race here. Of course, you can watch the live stream over on the Formula Regional Asian Championship YouTube page. And we'll be back live, though, with racing from the NGK UAE ProCar Championship later on today. So we'll see you. We'll be at 10 to 5 local time. Actually, no, that's the F4 UAE Championship race 2. We'll be back on the air for the NGKs at 40 minutes past 5. That will be local time for another fantastic 25-minute race.
Thanks, Chris. It's been a very entertaining first race of the day for the UAE ProCar Championship, brought to you by NGK Spark Plugs. And what a great set of winners. Saif Al-Ameri, Omar Al-Maheri, Rennie Munich, Jerzy Spinkovic, Ricky Coomber and Avik Anwar are your class winners after what has been a fabulous battle. And there's going to be a podium ceremony, so Chris Milbourne will make his way, obviously, to the podium to conduct that for the drivers. The next action on Dubai Autodrome is going to be on the Formula Regional Asian Championship, and that is going to be streamable on the Mumbai Falcons YouTube page, so make sure you can tune in there. But we are in for another sensational bit of race action from the UAE ProCar Championship a little bit later. And well done to our winners in class. There is one of them, Jerzy Spinkovic, with some amazing racecraft out there on the course. He really did an amazing job to get the position back from Pierre-Bryce Mena. But that is one heck of a victory. So to our winners, Saif Al-Ameri, Omar Al-Maheri, Rennie Munich, Jerzy Spinkovic, Ricky Coomber and Avik Anwar. Great performances from the 6 classes. There'll be more race action later as we return for the UAE ProCar Championship here at Dubai.